everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pop Culture at Home with me, Anna Rumor, and our superstar guest for today, Mindy Kaling. Thank you so much for talking with me today, Mindy.
Thanks, Anna. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Well, in the biggest understatement of our conversation, it's been quite the year. How have you been holding up at home with Kit and Spencer?
It's been a lot.
Yeah, right.
To do my job and to be running my two shows and to have two children at home, one of whom is under 4 months old. That's challenging. I think it's been I've had to change a lot. I'm now the mom that is I take long walks with my kids. The one good thing is I see them a lot more. And so I think that really surprised my daughter that she got to see me more often. But so I've been I have little things, I'll take a midday walk with my children and I'll bring with me my well yes soup and I'll be able to eat and hang out with them. And I never used to be able to do that. So it's been great.
It's the silver lining of a lot. How was the adjustment from 1 to 2 kids for you? I've heard that it's abrupt.
It is. It's like going from having 1 kid to having 12 kids. My house, it looks like I run I run a daycare center. It's filled with people are so nice about giving toys and everything. So, which is, my daughter has just taken them all. Everything that I got from my son, the daughter has just taken. So, it's fun. And it's, just as a social experiment, it's really interesting to see how two humans that come from my body can be so different from each other. Their personalities, you can already tell. So I think there's a lot interesting anthropologically with my kids.
You'll release a study when this is all over.
Yes, it's all just a science experiment.
What is the biggest difference in their personality, would you say?
So my daughter is very she's really smart and she's really funny, but she's pretty skeptical of people and things. Whereas my son, and she's been that way since she was 3 days old. You could just even with me, I had to earn her trust as her mom. And my son is is all in immediately. Anybody can pick him up and he smiles and gurgles and he's just so sweet. And my daughter's sweet too, but it's a little bit more directed, her sweetness, and she chooses who she's going to do it to. So he's just easy. He just wants to be happy and smile all day. And so it's very different personality types, and I'm enjoying it.
That is very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Moving into this new year that we have started, do you have any particular goal in mind for yourself or for your family, something you're trying to stay cognizant of?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with when being a mom is I'm oh, damn, I have to deal with the nutrition of 3 different humans, not just me. So before I had kids, I'll say this, and this is, I just ate a lot less consciously, and so now what's really great about partnering with Well Yes is that it's an amazing, nutritious, incredibly convenient, delicious thing that I can have with my daughter. And that's been great. And then another thing that I've been doing is exercise. It looks a lot different now. I used to love going to packed spin classes or, yoga with another friend, and we go get a teacher. And now it's all been kind of on my own terms and a little bit, and I've had to learn the learning curve of that. So basically it's long walks, it's runs, things that I'm not used to doing by myself that requires a lot more discipline. I've kind of had to learn to do that too.
Yeah. Well, and as we've kind of shifted these things to exercise, nutrition, it feels like there was a lot of time for self-reflection through the last year, at least for me. Have you reflected on anything that you have learned about yourself through all this weird time?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that I'm really hard on myself professionally. I really want to output a lot at a high quality. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but that's my my goal for myself is to always do that. And I think that this idea of being hard on myself with my family and having really high standards of how I'm going to be a mom, that's really had to evolve, like I'm not going to be able to do that because it's like, we basically are inside my house and in my backyard, and so, and I just have to accept the fact that children are resilient and that I'm, nothing that I'm doing is all that terrible and that everyone's kind of going through it. So that makes me feel less bad.
Yeah, none of us are perfect for sure.
So that is making me feel better.
Yeah. Well, and you kind of mentioned that you're just always wrapped up in everything. You got a million projects on your plate. I'm looking forward to the next Legally Blonde so much personally. What are you most excited for moving forward with everything?
Okay, well, a couple of things. I'm super excited about my partnership with Well Yes. That's awesome. Really fun to be part of something that I actually use and believe in, and is delicious. I have a new show on HBO Max called The Sex Lives of College Girls that's coming out this year, and unbelievably, we're going to start shooting that in a couple of weeks. Which, if you live in California, people are like, "Are you serious?" And it's like, "Yeah, I guess it's moving forward, and we have a way to shoot it safely." And Never Have I Ever season 2 is coming out later this year. So
I love Never Have I Ever. I'm so excited for a second season.
Thank you. So we shot about half the season before we kind of we shut down for the holidays, and we're extending our break because of COVID related issues. But the cast is healthy and happy, so we should be starting that up in about a month or something. So and I've been editing those first 5 episodes, and they're great.
Oh, that's super exciting to hear. How, for you, has COVID inspired you to kind of get creative in producing these shows?
Honestly, I feel really lucky because the team that we have assembled for both of those shows are kind of a hybrid of people I knew from The Office and the Mindy Project. And what's great about that is I have people, editors that I've worked with on a bunch of different shows. So we have such a shorthand and technology has been so great so that we can be watching a cut and be Zooming together and talking through a cut at the same time. And so that's one thing I learned. I think I used to have this old school feeling that like you had to show up at work and you had to leave at 2:00 in the morning because that's that kind of like old school comedy writer thing where it's not good unless you stay till 2 a.m. And now we learned that none of us can go to work. So we've grown so much more efficient doing it. And I feel like I have the right teams in place that we can do it really well.
Well, that's super exciting to hear. And I know we've got time for like one last question. So our readers would be remiss if I didn't ask you, would you ever be on board for any kind of Office reboot or Mindy Project reboot? Because people want it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the great things about being on The Office has been, it's like seeing the resurgence of people who loved it even after it's been off the air for forever. And I think that's great. I loved playing Kelly Kapoor. I think she's so fun, so unhinged, and just like loved pop culture. And so she was really such a fun character to play. So yeah, I mean, I love Steve and I love Greg. So if they ever asked me to come back and they wanted me to write something or perform in something, I would 100% do it if I knew the two of them were involved.
Awesome. Well, I'm super happy to hear that. And I'm super happy to talk with you today. So I really appreciate it.